Shane Rimmer was born in Toronto, Canada on May 8, 1929. As a young man, Shane got his start as a disc jockey on the radio station CKLB Oshawa, working alongside Paul Somerville and Johnny Wacko, and soon the three friends joined forces as a cabaret act. As the Three Deuces, they toured extensively in England before going on to the Palace Theatre in New York. The group went their separate ways soon after, and Shane began to pursue his newfound passion, acting. His first Canadian television acting work came in 1957 with, amongst other things, a role in an episode of Hawkeye and the Last of the Mohicans.
Lieutenant, that's militia, man. We got enough worries without disobeying a redcoat colonel's orders.
Just to remind you, Farber, out here I'm in command, not Colonel Dillon. Now fan out and shoot on sight.
Meaning no disrespect, Lieutenant, but that's an order you've got no right to give.
He continued working in Canada for the next few years, and got his first taste of voice work in 1958 when he revoiced the lead character in the English dub of the very first Italian sci-fi movie, The Day the Sky Exploded.
Have every suitable rocket throughout the world equipped with atomic warheads, then launch to hit the target at a given hour. They would disintegrate the meteorites.
He's all right. We must start a computer program. Can we do it in time?
It must be done. It's the only chance there is.
Shane emigrated to London in the late 1950s, and as was the case for many of the Canadian, American and Australian voice actors who worked on the various Gerry Anderson series, this move proved extremely lucrative.
Go on, Templar.
Well, that's all there is to it, Major. I was on my way here to pick up Sergeant Johns and the truck passed me.
And you think the driver was in uniform?
I don't think I know.
This is incredible. It's the worst security I bumped into in my life.
In 1963, he landed the regular role of Russell Corrigan in the BBC soap opera Compact, while his first major big screen appearance came in 1964 when he played Captain Ace Owens in Dr. Strangelove.
Won't you introduce me?
Yeah, give me a pleasure. Doc, I would like you to meet the Clanton brothers.
The Clanton brothers. Oh, dear. I mean, how do you do?
He continued his singing career, performing in various clubs around the country, while also occasionally releasing some of his songs on vinyl.
And the little congregation prayed for guidance from above. Lead us not into temptation, bless, O Lord, this celebration. May their lives be filled with love.
It was while on a club tour that he was invited to audition for a role in the next series to be produced by the AP Films team, and he was very quickly hired to provide the voice of Scott Tracy in Thunderbirds.
London Tower, this is International Rescue. Fireflash is in trouble and we are equipped to help you.
International Rescue, please give me information about your organization. We cannot grant facilities without knowing more details.
Look, there are 600 people up there with about 40 minutes to live. Now, you can't help them, but I believe we can. Now, what's it going to be?
We didn't know too much about the series. We certainly didn't think it was going to end up the way it actually did. Gradually, you got to know the other people in the cast. They were a good bunch, all of them good voice people. And so, all in all, it was a very pleasant and a look forward to series, and it worked.
Shane voiced Scott in all 32 episodes of the series and both big screen feature films, and his dynamic voice heightened the tension superbly in moments of extreme drama.
Gordon, now listen. You've got to locate them within the next 2 minutes. There's another building up here that's going to collapse, and the impact could cave in the whole area where those guys are swimming.
Shane's contribution to Thunderbirds extended beyond just providing the voice of Scott. Towards the end of the series, he contributed the idea for the episode Ricochet to writer Tony Barwick, and also wrote new introductions when the episodes were split into two-parters for transmission in America.
Alan and Grandma, high danger under a white-hot sun. A few feet away, a bomb. It started at a racetrack. Alan dueling with rival Gomez, who plays rough. Alan wins, but is this his last race?
Following completion of Thunderbirds, Shane was invited to write a script for Century 21's latest television series, Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons. The result was the episode Avalanche, which set Captain Scarlet and Lieutenant Green on the trail of a Mysteron agent attacking military bases in Shane's home country of Canada. Avalanche was so well received that Shane was invited to write 2 more episodes of Captain Scarlet, plus 6 episodes of Joe 90, and 1 episode of The Secret Service. He also wrote the original publicity booklet for Captain Scarlet, as well as several stories for the Joe 90 Top Secret comic, and provided occasional uncredited guest voices in both Captain Scarlet and Joe 90.
Can you back her up just a little, sir? Now hold it. Hold it!
In 1967, Shane first appeared in the world of James Bond when he had a brief, uncredited appearance in You Only Live Twice. He would later reappear in a larger but similarly uncredited role in Diamonds Are Forever.
How did he get security clearance to work here in the first place? Well, from you, sir. I talked to you personally about it.
And voiced the character of Hamilton in Live and Let Die in 1973.
Whose funeral is it?
Yours.
In 1968, Shane began appearing regularly in Coronation Street as American GI Joe Donnelly. He continued in the role up to December 1970, when Joe committed suicide just a few days before Christmas.
Well, I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I'm sorry, sometimes I'm not. I do a lot of bad things, Stanley. I never should have been born, you know that. I never should have been born.
In 1969, Gerry Anderson switched from puppets to live action with his latest series, UFO. Shane appeared in the first episode as a shadow pilot, and would then don an alien spacesuit for the second episode.
I tell you what, I could have slept in my helmet. It was so big. And I bumped into I don't know how many trees because the things kept on falling away from the visual track. And one time I knocked myself out.
He later returned to the series for one final appearance as a CIA agent in the episode Confetti Check A-OK.
Please, Harry, just tell me what's happening.
I'll tell you, Caroline. Don't believe everything you hear. She bought it. She bought it.
Staying in the world of Gerry Anderson, Shane made a guest appearance in the Protectors episode Vocal in 1971, and the same year was reunited with fellow Supermarionation voice artist David Healy in an episode of The Persuaders.
You know what I think you are? You're an undercover agent for the fuzz.
You planned the gold heist?
Every detail.
Well, why don't you tell me about it?
While working on The Persuaders, Shane began to shadow series star Tony Curtis, as Curtis was scheduled to appear in an episode of The Protectors that Shane had been asked to write. But when Curtis became unavailable to play the part, Shane stepped in at the last moment to star in his own story.
You know, I really love this town. Despite my hotel room, I like this town.
What's the matter? It's not good?
Oh, it's bad news.
Why don't you bunk in with me for a few days?
Are you serious?
Well, sure, why not?
I'll give you 2 seconds to attract that offer. I take it.
He later made one final contribution to The Protectors by writing the very last episode of the series, Blockbuster.
You have been patient, and now your questions will be answered.
The Investigator.
In 1973, Gerry Anderson made one final ill-fated attempt to revive Supermarionation with a 25-minute pilot film, The Investigator. Shane worked closely with him on developing the story, and also provided the voice of John, one of 2 schoolchildren reduced to puppet size by an alien being called the Investigator, as part of his vague plan to
make your world a better place.
The results were less than spectacular, and Anderson was so disappointed that he refused to show the final product to potential investors.
That, of course, is the whole idea.
Later that year, Shane travelled to Munich to deliver a particularly intense performance as Coach Rusty in the cult sci-fi movie Rollerball.
What the hell are you trying to do? Nobody's gonna win this game! Game? This wasn't meant to be a game! Never!
North Alpha from Eagle 2. We'll be arriving on schedule.
Following Rollerball, Shane could be heard in several episodes of Gerry and Sylvia Anderson's latest big-budget sci-fi series, Space 1999, but didn't get to appear on camera until the episode Space Brain, when he got to utter one of the more infamous lines of his career.
You must not touch my brain! Before
disappearing under a torrent of alien foam. In 1974, Shane was back on the big screen as a CIA agent in pursuit of Donald Sutherland and Elliot Gould in the espionage spoof Spies.
Where are you going? What are you doing?
Hessler!
Do you still believe him?
Yes, sir.
I told you to stop doing that.
I'm sorry, sir, but I thought that you...
You are not supposed to think.
I'm sorry, sir.
Out.
I thought that... Yes, sir, I'll certainly get right.
1977 was a particularly busy year for Shane, beginning with an appearance in an episode of Anglia Television's documentary series Science Report, titled Alternative 3. This edition looked at a secret plot to relocate humanity to the Moon and Mars in the event of a cataclysmic disaster on Earth, and featured supposedly real-life testimonies being delivered by actors. Shane played astronaut Bob Grodin, a man who claimed to have made an astonishing discovery during a moonwalk.
Well, we came down the wrong place. And it was crawling. Like what we were on the line of milk one.
You're talking about men from Earth?
Do you think that they need all that crap down in Florida to get two guys up there on a bicycle? The hell they do. You know why we're there? To give them a good PR story for all the hardware they're shooting out into space. I mean, we're nothing. We're nothing.
This obvious hoax was due to be broadcast on April the 1st, which would have been fine if it hadn't been delayed by scheduling issues. When it was finally shown on June the 20th, the Anglia switchboards were jammed with calls from confused viewers demanding to know the truth. Despite all claims to the contrary, there are still those who believe that Alternative 3 was no mere TV hoax, but one small piece of a much larger real-life conspiracy.
Look, that's it. That's it.
Also in 1977, Shane returned to the world of 007 for Roger Moore's third big-screen outing as James Bond in The Spy Who Loved Me. Unlike his previous appearances in the series, this was a major role, as Shane's Commander Carter joined forces with 007 in the movie's final act to rescue Russian agent Anya Amasova from the clutches of the fanatical Stromberg.
That armor plating must be inches thick. We'll never get through it.
This gets to the armory.
What do you reckon to find there?
A nuclear missile.
Hey, wait!
His appearance in The Spy Who Loved Me earned Shane the record of the most frequent appearances in the Bond franchise by an actor who wasn't a member of the regular cast.
God damn it, another one.
Staying on the big screen in 1977, Shane also played Hogan the Pilot in the sequel to The Land That Time Forgot, The People That Time Forgot.
Pterodactyls are far more interesting than Germans.
Interesting? Doc, you professor types are all the same. Pterodactyls, huh? Well, you give me the Red Baron any day.
To round out 1977, Shane also had a brief appearance in what promised to be an unremarkable sci-fi movie, but one that would go on to change the face of cinema.
This R2 unit of yours seems a bit beat up. You want a new one?
Not on your life. That little droid and I have been through a lot together.
In 1978, Shane got attacked by an octopus in the movie Warlords of Atlantis, appeared with Harrison Ford in the movie Hanover Street, and starred with a young James Woods in the BBC TV movie $1 Billion Bubble.
The auditor's going to want to see the policies that back up the figures. We didn't sell that many policies.
Well, didn't Joe show you that computer printing out all those policies this afternoon? The computer just keeps on printing them out.
He also made regular appearances in such hit late 70s TV series as Hadley, The Famous Five, and Return of the Saint.
Don't bother to try and figure that one out. Collected by mistake. Experts say it doesn't belong here.
And the experts are wrong. It does, very much so. In fact, it tells the whole story. That is one of the tail fins from a GA Mark III. It's a ground-to-air missile.
This run of success continued unabated into the 1980s. TV highlights included guest roles in Agatha Christie's Partners in Crime, Philip Marlowe Private Eye, and 2 appearances in Tales of the Unexpected.
Did you say Benham?
Yes.
In Norfolk?
Why, yes.
Miss Murdoch, I've got something really wonderful to tell you.
Mahatma Gandhi was not the commander of armies, nor a ruler of vast lands. He could not boast any scientific achievement or artistic gift. Yet men, governments, dignitaries from all over the world have joined hands today to pay homage to this little brown man in the loincloth who led his country to freedom.
His big screen credits for that decade were no less impressive, including Gandhi, 2 Superman movies, and a supporting role in the 1985 Meryl Streep film Out of Africa.
This is Belknap. He runs a farm.
In 1987, Shane was reunited with Gerry Anderson for not one, but 2 projects. The first of these was Space Police.
I'm Brogan, Lieutenant Brogan. For 15 years, I worked for the NYPD, New York Police Department. Now I'm with Space Police.
The show was a hybrid of live action, puppetry, animatronics, stop motion, and model work, with Shane stuck in the middle making a valiant attempt to hold the whole production together.
Hey, sometimes us old-timers can be a bit handy, huh?
When a full series of Space Police finally appeared on television in 1994, now reworked into Space Precinct, Shane was no longer part of the cast, and the role of Brogan was now to be played by Ted Shackelford.
The name's Spanner.
Dick Spanner, private investigator.
By way of contrast, Shane was pretty much the entire cast of Dick Spanner, a stop-motion spoof of the classic private eye genre.
I took the elevator up to the 14th floor. My office is on the 15th, but that's another story.
Shane took on the lead role of robotic detective Dick Spanner and was a perfect fit for the world-weary character as he navigated a bizarre world in a parallel universe not far from here.
It was late, but I needed a drink. And a lot of answers. Brum, 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 brum.
In 1988, Shane returned to Coronation Street for 6 episodes as the character Malcolm Reed.
Here we are.
Oh, not more tea.
Oh, come on, it's half hour since you had your last cup. Now stop your moaning.
Oh, half hour. You must be dying of thirst.
All right, I'm sorry, I forgot. When in England, you drink tea all day long.
Many fans of the show still recognised Shane, despite it being nearly 20 years since the death of his previous character.
I don't want no other love, baby, it's just you I'm thinking of.
With so many TV and film appearances, Shane only occasionally found time to lend his voice to radio productions. But in 1989, he was reunited with fellow Super Mario Nation voice artists Matt Zimmerman and Ed Bishop for the BBC Radio 4 adaptation of A Study in Scarlet.
Keep away from me, Hope. You're insane.
Look at this ring, Dripper. This is the ring that killed Lucy Ferrier when you forced it on her finger and dragged her off to your shameless harem.
No.
Now look at it! It'll be the last thing you ever do look at!
Shane and Ed often crossed paths throughout their careers. In 1996, they appeared together in a stage production of Death of a Salesman, and in 2005, Shane appeared alongside Ed in his final screen role in the BBC docudrama Hiroshima.
Sarah? Is it really you?
Dad.
Sarah, you look so much like your mother. God bless her soul.
Shane has continued working into the 21st century, including big screen roles in Batman Begins in 2005 and Dark Shadows in 2012. In 2010, his autobiography, From Thunderbirds to Pterodactyls, was published by Signum Books with an accompanying audiobook version from Big Finish. He also revisited his time on Doctor Who by recording a commentary for the 2011 DVD release of The Gunfighters, and read the audiobook version of the 1983 Target novelisation in 2013. In 2014, his first novel, Long Shot, was published as an ebook on Amazon, and later that year he took over the recurring role of Grandpa Louie in the cult cartoon series The Amazing World of Gumball.
But very soon her loving arms refused to let go of me, and she kept me captive. Her tender fingers, now the bars of a gilded cage, from which I can never escape. Anywho, enough about me. What's your favourite food?
Shane has always maintained close ties to the Gerry Anderson universe, and still makes regular convention appearances to the delight of fans young and old. He has also both narrated and appeared in several Gerry Anderson documentaries, and has occasionally returned to record new dialogue for some of his classic characters.
Thanks to my Zippo sign printing kit, I can make a quick exit.
Despite an extensive career including memorable roles in many popular television series and films, Scott Tracy is still the role for which he is best remembered, and it's almost impossible to imagine International Rescue's last-minute heroics being anywhere near as exciting as they were without the unique voice of Shane Rimmer.
You did pretty well yourself.
I think the rights and wrongs of our day-to-day behaviors were nicely outlined. You know, you got an idea of what was fair and what wasn't fair, and I think this sticks with kids, no matter how fantastic the situation is or how fanciful it is. There is a straight down the line moral that was usually quite recognizable.